Welcome back, folks. It's the Patcast, and I'm your host, Pat Monahan. This week, it's the first ever Patcast giveaway. That's right, free stuff. We're giving away a fabulous brand new Patcast hat and shirt to one lucky winner. Here's what you do. Go tweet us at Patcast Podcast and tell us something weird or embarrassing that you would like us to have Pergo and Jerry do on the show. Or Jerry. It doesn't matter. Both of them, some of them, one of them. And we'll pick a winner, send out a free hat and shirt, use the hashtag PergoJerryChallenge. Hit us up at Patcast Podcast. And I hope it's really weird because I'm going to make them do it. I'm going to make them do some weird stuff. They've done a lot of weird stuff. Most of it we can't talk about. But man, I'd love to talk about this one. So do it up. Hashtag PergoJerryChallenge. Patcast Podcast is the way to do it if you want to do that on Twitter. Some of you may know that Train works with a charity as well, on a side note from the weirdness, and that's in San Francisco. It's called Family House. I just went to visit them the other day, and these people are doing amazing work. Family House is an organization that provides a place to stay for the family members and sometimes children who are sick with some pretty serious illnesses. The UCSF Children's Hospital is an advanced healthcare facility that can provide treatment for kids that really need help. So people from all over will come to San Francisco so their children can get healthy. But obviously not everyone is able to afford a hotel during the sometimes extended periods that they need to be here. So that's where Family House comes in. They literally house the families and these children for free as long as they need that help. And it's a great place, and it's an honor to get to work with these people in that group that's doing such great work. They need more room, though, and more rooms for families and kids. And right now, Family House is working on building a new facility that will be able to provide a place to stay for more of them. So they've started a crowdfunding campaign to raise money for the building. If you'd like to help with the effort, the campaign is called Calling All Angels, and it's on Indiegogo, INDIEGOGO. There's also info about it at familyhouse.org, or you can go to Train's website as well, SaveMeSanFrancisco.com. If you want to help out, it's a really worthwhile cause, so give what you can, and if you're not able to, then just tell your friends about it. Okay, next order of business. Train is doing a cruise. It's called Sail Across the Sun, and it takes place Valentine's Day weekend, 2015. The tickets for that are on sale now, and you can find out all the information at sailacrossthesun.com. Go get your tickets, get ready to party with me, Jerry, Pergo, all the Train guys, a whole bunch of other great bands and other special guests. There'll be concerts every single night. Wine tasting, comedy, there's a casino. We go to Key West and Great Stirrup Cay, and it all happens on the Norwegian Pearl, which is a beautiful boat. And actually, they designed it for concerts and for this kind of cruise. The last one we did was out of control, and next year promises to be even crazier. Let me give you an example. This week's podcast was scheduled to be Matt Pinfield. Matt Pinfield became well known as the host of MTV's 120 Minutes, a show that focused primarily on hard rock and metal music videos. Over the years, he's been a radio DJ and A&R guy at Columbia Records, hosted various other TV shows. He was on the cruise with us, serving as our host and master of ceremonies. He's known for his encyclopedic knowledge of pop music. And he's always an interesting guy to talk to about music, which is, of course, why we thought he might be a good podcast. But instead of showing up to do the interview, Matt went off the boat and then off the wagon, and he was last spotted on the island of Grand Cayman, tying one on in a big way. We don't know if he ever made it back. He, in fact, may have sailed directly into the sun. Thank you, Matt, for the memories. We will be bringing out a different MC next time. But you were, if nothing else, extremely memorable and made for a great story. So, we needed a backup plan, and a frantic Pergo had already begun working on a new guest for us to talk to. We had plenty of options on the boat, and we could have picked quite a few people. But instead, it seemed like a great time to try something new. So what we did was sit down and talk to some train fans on the boat and let them ask us questions instead. When I say us, I mean me and Jerry and Pergo, because the other band people were with Matt Pinfield, and that's another story. We weren't sure how it was going to work out. It was a new experiment for us, but the truth is it was really great, and we had a super fun time, and the people there came out and had insightful questions, and we had a great chance to play some songs. So what you're about to hear is the first podcast Q&A session with some of the folks who came along on the cruise, and it was really a lot of fun there. There were a couple of unplanned surprises that happened. We actually played a brand new Train song live for the first time ever, so that was pretty exciting for us, and I'm excited for you guys to hear that. It's called Underneath the Dogwood Tree. It's a Patcast town hall meeting with me, Jerry Pergo, and friends, taped in front of a live studio audience on the 2014 Sail Across the Sun cruise, right here on this week's Patcast.
What do you do when nobody's looking? Nobody's looking. What do you do? What do you do when nobody's looking? Nobody's looking, looking at you. You got to get it while the getting is good. Laugh when you can, cry when you should. You got to give it till the giving is gone. Do what you can, then you move on. What do you do when nobody's looking? Nobody's looking. What do you do? What do you do when nobody's looking? Nobody's looking, looking at you.
I was going to ask you guys to do a real quick favor before we get started. I don't know if any of you have heard the Patcast yet, but if you could help us with this. You guys are terrible at that. You should never do that again. Let's never do that together.
You gotta stomp your feet and clap your hand. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop. Okay, forget it. We're good. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What do you do when nobody's looking? Nobody's looking. What do you do? Yeah. What do you do when nobody's looking? Nobody's looking, looking at you. You got to get it, getting is good. Laugh when you can, cry when you should. You got to give until the giving is gone. Do what you can, then you move on. What do you do when nobody's looking? Nobody's looking. What do you do? Yeah. What do you do when nobody's looking? Nobody's looking, looking at you.
That's the theme song that we all tried to do, and it just was like that. But so, were you at the podcast the other day? It was terrible. So you chose the right one. Tonight's guest is we've all been pretty smashed on the boat at some point at this. But my next guest is actually he's still hammered and we can't find him. And so that's just the truth. And so I love that about him. It's my favorite part of Matt Pinfield. But instead of Matt, because seriously, I don't even know if he knows where he is right now, we thought maybe we would do something different that we've never done on the Patcast, which is kind of turn it over to you. Is there something you want to know about, well, the whole band isn't here, but me or Jerry or Pergo, and we can maybe play some music and turn this into more of your podcast on us as opposed to... hopefully you'll have a question or two, and if you don't, I'm just going to buy you guys a drink and then we're going to beat it. But he's got a microphone here. If you guys want to take that out there. And
Does everybody know Pergo?
started.
Not as big of an applause as last time, huh?
No. This is Jerry Becker. he is a big part of the podcast and also plays all the music, and that's Pergo, who is responsible for all the editing and all of the recording. And it's also his job to make sure that the guests show up. He's working on that part.
Pinfield's a wild card, what can I say?
Yeah. So anybody want to be first? Great. You, sir, you want to go to the mic? This is like the Jay Leno thing, I guess.
Oh my God, Pat, we're so excited. It's our honeymoon, so
that's great. Congratulations.
We're so glad to be here. I've been a Train fan for a long, long time.
Where are you from?
Michigan, northern Michigan, Charlevoix. We've seen, and I'd like you to sign my shirt if I could get you to do that later. But anyhow, I don't know what the story about the Crows and the Crowns is for Train, and I'm sorry.
The Crows and the Crowns, good question. We, years ago, we stole the crown from, well, actually, this guy named Tommy Doherty, he created the artwork for our first album called Train, and he was a Southern California kid, really amazingly talented. Then we were like, man, this crown looks like a king and a jester, and that's kind of like us, where we want to be important, but we're pretty much just a joke. And well, you know, on whatever level, we just joke around a lot. So we took that crown a little bit to the next level, and we saw this movie called Basquiat. This guy, this amazing painter, and his crown was just a 3-pronged crown like that. So we stole it, and now a lot of people are stealing it. And this one band came at us about a year ago, and they were like, "You cease and desist using our crown." And we were like, "We're pretty much sure we stole that from somebody else." So we were like, "Cool," and we signed the contract. We were like, "Great, we're never going to use your crown again." And then my manager called, and he goes, "Excuse me, Basquiat Estate, these assholes over here are using your crown." It was a pretty genius move. So we never stopped using their crown, because it's not their crown. But the Crows, you know, when we stopped working together as a band and then came back together again, we thought that the raven, which is kind of a rebirth bird, a bird that is about reinventing and recreating. Well, that was the idea, but it does look like a crow, but it's supposed to be a raven. But good question, thank you. And the answer to your other question, no, I will not sign your shirt. Who's next? Yeah, what do you got, kiddo? Yeah, you're the kiddo. Sorry, I don't know why I say that.
Hi, Kitty from Baltimore.
From Baltimore.
Hello, Kitty.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
as in go Ravens.
Oh, great. No, you gotta. That didn't work out for you, did it?
No, it didn't. My question that didn't get picked for tomorrow was, having toured extensively as a group for like 20 years, what are the other band members that aren't here's most endearing qualities and their pet peeves you have with them?
So you want me to...
Dish the dirt, baby, dish the dirt.
You want me to tell you what I love the most and hate the most about the other
Exactly.
fellas? It's probably the same thing. You know, I learned that the things that people like about me are the things that they eventually tire of. I talk a lot, and that's why I do a podcast. What's happening over there? Are you good? Are you nodding off?
I'm good.
Okay, you're sleepy. So anyway, yeah, I can tell you a lot about Jerry right now.
No, I'm here.
The other guys, you know, Jimmy's actually a very zen kind of guy. You know, he's a level-headed guy. He's always kind of been the mom of the band. He just is like, man, we shouldn't fight, we shouldn't do any of this, and let's just have a glass of wine, and we'll go over there, and I just love that about him. And I can't think of anything that I don't love. You know, and then the other people in the band, you know, the singers, Nikita and Sakai, they're the loveliest spirit from, like, the Bay Area. They make, when I look over at them, I go, like, I'm in a cool band. Like, they're so cool. And Jerry then, of course, makes that percentage go down slightly to a pretty cool band. And what I love about him is that he works harder than I do, and that's kind of like what I'd like to think I do the best. Hector, he's the sweetest, smiliest guy. Give him, 3 to 4, maybe 30 shots of tequila, and the shakes stop, so that's great. But then he also is really fun to be around as well. And Brian, I don't know that guy very well. He plays the trumpet, I think.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I don't even know if he does that. But yeah, that's what we like about everybody. And what else? You got somebody else that has a question? You're in the middle, and you really got a long hand. You can just throw her the mic, or she could walk to the aisle.
No, we gotta.
You gotta have it on there
record
because
you.
then people will hear it when we play it back.
Pass the mic down like Donahue.
Lynn from D.C. I saw you back at the Birchmere, and you played a song called Landmine.
We're gonna play that tonight. We can play a piece of it right now.
Thank you.
Well, there ain't much entertainment in a town this size at all. I woke up dressed for this arraignment, 'cause I don't think I'm ready for the fall.
That's about all I know right now without looking at the words. We're gonna do that tonight along with a bunch of other ones, and we're actually one of the songs that we're gonna start with that I think Jerry and I are gonna play you in a little while is called "Underneath the Dogwood Tree." And a while back I wrote this poem on Twitter and I just sent it. Basically, it was my thanking Train fans because I really think that you are the loveliest human beings around. You are so lovely to each other. You're lovely to other artists. You care. You become friends. I know a lot of people from Scotland, or they travel to San Diego to see their friends now. It's a really beautiful kind of relationship that you guys have created. So I consider myself like you in the regard that we're all like wildflowers, and you can either find beauty in that, or you can find whatever you think a dandelion is, whether it's a weed or a flower. It depends on how you see beauty. And so I think of us in that regard, and so I wrote this poem, and so people have been referring to themselves as wildflowers. And this song, Underneath the Dogwood Tree, is kind of a thank you to Train fans. And so we'll play that in a second because he's setting up. But is there another question? Yeah, what do you got?
I don't know if you remember this guy in this picture with long hair.
Oh, yeah, I know that guy. That's me.
Yeah. And I want to know who you are now compared to who you were then.
Who am I there and who am I now? Well, I was about 20. I was about 28, so it was like 5 years ago. Isn't that funny? You rotten people. And so, being that age, I had a little boy, a little baby, and I was like, man, I'm not being a good dad. I'm not really getting anywhere. So I changed my life a lot and cut my hair off, started painting houses, made money for the first time ever, and got a record deal where it didn't look like it was going to go very well for us. Actually, the way I met Jerry was right before that picture was taken, actually. He was the only person nice to my child at the music store that I would take him to in Petaluma, California. Have you ever taken your kid into a music store and all the kids there that work there are like, oh, they're going to play everything and leave buying nothing. And that's what we did. But Jerry's from a big family, and so he was like, dude, take these drumsticks and go do crazy stuff around the store because I hate my boss. And so we're like, this guy's awesome. And I asked Jerry if he would be our tour manager, and he was like, I don't know how to do that. And so we were just, we were like, well, there's really no money in it, and we're probably going to be mean to you. And he was like, sounds like my marriage. I'm kidding. He didn't say that. He wasn't married at the time. But so he took the gig, and he was, he's more talented than all of us, and so he was probably driving the van like Chris Farley, and so angry at us for being awesome, but not being on stage. And so then eventually he just became a big part of my solo career, and then transferred right into being a huge part of Train. So that's how that whole thing happened. What's going on? What do you got?
I'm Larry from San Juan Capistrano.
Nice. Hey, Larry.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
A couple of questions. California, yes. First of all, would you consider moving to Utah? Because my wife is just madly in love with you. Multiple.
You know, I would love to have several marriages. But I don't want to move to Utah to do it. Is there a way we could do like a mail order thing?
I think we can do that. Second thing is, can you give me some background on you can finally meet my mom and the whole
Yeah, we're gonna play
Sleep
that
on
song.
Little Things.
We're gonna play that song tonight as well. You know, it's funny. There was a young guy who plays in a band, and he tweeted after that album came out, and he was like, "This is the most romantic song in the world." And he was the one guy to get the song, like really understand what I was saying. Is I'm married to a woman who never got to meet my mom, and those are the two women in my life that are my mom was my biggest fan, and it took a lot of like going through bad stuff and not fun stuff to meet my wife. But I met her. I was almost like my mom was like, "Hey, I gotta lead you down this road so that you can meet this woman who's gonna take over where I left off." And so the idea of you can finally meet my mom is when we have perished from this place and we're all hanging out, you know, playing video games wherever we're gonna be. I won't want to hang out with Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix and Buddha because I'll just be able to see those two women again. That's really the idea. I'm like on the verge of tears almost every time I talk about that, so thanks a lot for making me cry. Hi, can you get the mic? Can you get the mic somehow up to? I don't.
You got it?
Thank you, Sam. Yes, I just want to know how you feel about people singing along with you when you play and you sing. I mean, does it make you angry or or do you like it? I mean, because I want to sing. When you sing, I want to sing.
I think it's the coolest thing in the world. And if I ever look out and I'm laughing at somebody singing, it's that they don't know any of the words, but they're just pretending they do, and it's so awesome because they're like, I don't know, I don't care. You know, I don't care who you are, like we're on the boat with some really amazing people, you know, like John Oates, he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now. And that guy is a serious guy. And whether you're that guy or you're, you know, Yacht Rock, they're the most amazing band on the ship. They're out there right now. You want people to sing to your songs. Like, that's your dream as a kid. So anyone... there is a story about this Irish artist that I don't remember his name, but he was playing in this huge, like 8,000-seat theater, and he was playing this beautiful song, and everyone's singing every word, and he stops and he said, "Will you shut the hell up? It took me 10 years to write this song. Let me sing it." You know, and there's kind of something awesome about that too. So, do you remember who that was?
Van Morrison.
Oh, Van Morrison. No, he's angry at other things. You know, it wasn't him. It was another guy. But but I love it, and I love when you sing, and I want you to sing along all the time. You want to ask me a question, or Jerry, or okay, she's gonna ask real quick, and then you can give the mic to the girl in the front row who's shorter than everybody.
My favorite song of yours is Always Midnight.
Ooh.
I wanted to know what's your favorite song that you've ever written.
That's one of my top 5 favorite songs that I've ever written. It's one of the mistakes that I wish I could correct. I wish that that's the one song that I love the most on that solo record, and I wish that we just would have taken a chance and put it out and nothing else. And if we would have risen to the top, then that's great. And if we would have failed with it, what a great song to fail to. Who cares, you know? But it's it goes like.
Seems like always midnight. Sweeping up broken glass after every fight. The sound of a train that I couldn't get on, reminding With you, it's always midnight. Are you blind? Can't you see me standing here waiting in line for you? Are you mine? Not just when you wanna be all of the time. Are you blind? Can't you see me standing here? Won't you tell me what it is I'm waiting to find?
That song makes me cry too. So let's let her ask a question, and then we'll play Dogwood Tree for you guys right quick.
Hi, my name's Lexi.
Hey, Lexi.
I want to know, why'd you name your band Train?
You know, there were 5 guys in the band at one point, and one guy that I started the band with in the San Francisco area, his name is Rob. Whatever. I'm kidding.
Love you, Rob. I did a record with Rob, so Rob's a good dude.
Yeah,
We
so
all
he's
like
out there.
Rob.
He's got music, but so he and I started this. We started this thing together, and he heard this interview from Echo and the Bunnymen, a European band. Is the singer's name Ian? Yeah. Yeah. So Ian was on the radio, and he was saying there's nothing romantic about America. And at the time, Rob was listening to this interview, and he said, you know, the one thing that is romantic that's American is the locomotive. And there's no train, there's no band called Train. There's like Steel Train and Black Train and all these other things. So it was just a working title, and we hoped that one day it would get cool, like U2. When you call your band U2, you probably are like, really? And then 20 years later, you're like, oh my God, that's the most amazing song. You know, and so we were hoping that would happen, and I'm not sure if... So this is our song Underneath the Dogwood Tree that we wrote it, and I hope you like it. And if you don't like it, if you could just tell everybody else tonight that it's awesome, it'd be really helpful.
I belong to the wildflowers, they belong to me. We can sit and talk for hours underneath the dogwood tree, making such grand plans together to sail across the sun. Never mind the trolls and coppers, we already won. But if you don't feel beautiful, be among the wildflowers for just a little while with me. And if you feel invisible, be among the wildflowers for just a little while with me. In the middle of a bluegrass field, laying by a riverbed, we'll be there growing strong in numbers if you ever need a friend. Singing songs that we need for reasons too hard to explain. For as the eye can see, wildflowers taller than the sugar cane. But if you don't feel beautiful, be among the wildflowers for just a little while with me. And if you feel invisible, be among the wildflowers for just a little while with me. Ooh. There's a place right here for you underneath the dogwood tree. And if you don't feel beautiful, be among the wildflowers for just a little while with me. And if you feel invisible, be among the wildflowers for just a little while with me. If you don't feel beautiful, be among the wildflowers for just a little while with me. If you feel invisible, be among the wildflowers for just a little while with me.
Thanks. Thank you. You guys are nice. You guys are really close to each other, and you both have a question, so that really helps logistically. Oh, look at you. You let the girl go first.
It exists.
I bet Matt Pinfield wouldn't have. I'm just kidding. He's awesome.
I'm married right now. I'm from Maryland, but I've been all over active duty military. My question for you is...
Thank you for doing that work that is really like, man, it's so much harder than anything we do, man. It's like a very serious commitment. Thank you.
Thank you. I work at Walter Reed and I take care of kids, so that's even better. My question for you is that I see a lot of the lyrics and songs are about your life.
About what?
About your life.
The first couple of records, I really was viewing other people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that I wasn't really able to make a connection with songs that weren't about my life. Like Meet Virginia was about a girl that we met who like wore high heels to a baseball game that we were playing against like Counting Crows guys, and I was like, that lady's nuts, I'm gonna write a song. And Drops of Jupiter was about my mom, and then
Right.
the songs on those albums that weren't about me or something that was very relatable, I couldn't really get people to come in.
Mhm.
And so I realized that really a great author or a great writer are the people that I want to listen to for a long time. They talk about themselves, but in a way that's general enough that it can
Absolutely.
be about all of us. Like those are my favorite songwriters.
Is When the Fog Rolls In about your life
The
particularly?
which one?
When the Fog Rolls In?
When the fog rolls in, that is about parts of my life, and it was very San Francisco. I know a lot of. I left San Francisco. The truth is, I left San Francisco a little brokenhearted, but it wasn't because I left a marriage. It was because a friend of mine took his life,
Mhm.
and I was broken. It was like, that place is gone. I have to leave. And so I had to translate that into a different kind of song than, hey, my friend, he took his life. I don't want to write that. So it had to be about those familiar moments could also relate to a love relationship because I loved him dearly. So that's how that was a very relatable song for me.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Michael. I live in Kalamazoo, Michigan. One of my favorite...
She's very excited about that.
It's a great city. Lots of breweries.
I bet Matt Pinfield knows about Kalamazoo. I'm probably just going to keep visiting the Matt Pinfield joke.
One of my favorite train songs is Ordinary. I was kind of wondering how, if you were, somebody contacted you about being on a soundtrack, or if that's something that you kind of led yourselves towards.
Well, that was a Columbia film, a Columbia record, Columbia Films, and so we're a Columbia Records band, and they came to us, and it's very difficult to get any of those. Like, for the most part, when they say, hey, can you write an end title to a whatever, you and 300 other people do it, and then they pick some guy in Australia that their single's been out for 3 years, and finally they're like, oh, I love that song. So it's rare that you're able to match something. So I went in and watched the film before it was done, and a friend of mine, Bart Hendrickson, who lives in LA, was really into hard rock. And I was like, you might be the perfect guy to help me do this, because I am like, and that means like I'd rather go shopping for purses kind of thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I'm talking about. And so he just was like, oh yeah, and so that's where Ordinary came from. And then I was like, oh, maybe that's the road to go down. So then I wrote some other songs that were like that, and I just couldn't beat that whole go find Prada bags out of myself. So just back to this whole thing. But I love Ordinary too. And the fact that they used it for the movie was really rare and awesome for us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
A minute of it?
You guys are way back there. There's a whole clump of them? Is that you call yourself clumps, right? I don't know. There's a whole bunch of people back there that would be great. And then we probably should let you guys go do some other stuff soon. Maybe we'll finish with a song or whatever.
Hi.
Hi.
Nervous. I'm Kate from San Diego, originally from Jersey. Yay, Jersey. I tell you,
Wait, can I just interrupt you for 1 second? Pergo, I'm around him a lot. He's from New Jersey.
Yeah.
And we live in the Seattle area because my wife is from there. And do you honk at people as much as he does when you're on the road? Is this a New Jersey thing? Because
this is true.
Like,
The horn's there for a reason.
I actually broke the horn of one of my cars from honking to
oh, man. She broke the horn in her car. Okay, so I'm
Poetic
sorry.
justice.
Go ahead.
Sorry, anyway, I'm going to be a complete jerk in a way, because you just said those first 2 albums didn't speak to you, but I'll tell you, I was in college.
No, they didn't not speak to.
Oh.
I just wanted to relate, and I didn't think that those other songs made as big a connection as like Drops of Jupiter as well.
Well, thank you, because they related to me. I was in college, and it was a really shitty time in my life.
Oh, nice.
And no, it's all good, because it's all good. But it's just, I used to just lock myself in my dorm room and just, well, I didn't have a dorm room because I couldn't afford it. But I used to crash in other people's dorm rooms. And I used to just listen to those albums because they spoke to me, and I was like, this band, they get me, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna get through this, and I'm gonna make something happen. So my question, you guys have inspired me. And
Thank you so much. That's so sweet. You inspire me. Thank you.
that was my question, is who inspires you? Where do you draw your mother voice from?
I'm writing a lot right now. I'm not home very often, and when I am home, I'm writing. Jerry will come and visit, and like we wrote Dogwood Tree, and there's so much. I'm writing so much, and I don't know where I am. It's very hard to focus for me right now because I need to do something that I've never done. Like you can't hear the same Train record again. Like you don't want that. Trust me. Like I don't want that. Nobody does. My band doesn't want that, and to step out of yourself is such a difficult thing. So where I'm pulling inspiration is just kind of, to be really honest right now, kind of angry parts of myself that aren't resolved. Like loss, relationships that, people burn you, like things, I don't know why that's what I'm gravitating towards. Maybe it's a thing that I have to write through to get to, hey, soul sister, because there's not a whole lot of anger in that one. That's kind of like, my shit's kind of good. And so I'm just trying to work through that, but I don't know where I am right now. I'm pretty lost, to be very honest with you. So I hope it all works out.
Another one over here? Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you for having a glass of wine.
Yeah, remember I had like the biggest glass of wine ever on the karaoke stage?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice
Texas, I'm all about Texas. I'm not wearing camo today, but I am wearing heels again.
That's not the same glass of wine, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No. kind of along the same vein that she just was going from Jersey. My husband and I just wonder if you know that sometimes your music keeps people together, like keeps families together, holds everything together. And I don't know if you realize that. Like, we have 4 children. They're all little. They're 11, 9, and 6-year-old twins. And we went through 3 years of loss. We lost both of his parents, my grandmother, my brother, our great-nephew, all at the same time. And your music kept our family going, like kept us together, kept us okay.
That's very kind. I truly appreciate that immensely. The truth is that you kept your family together. You did that hard work and all the work that you did together and going
we
through
did,
the loss.
but we sang a lot of train songs to do it.
Well, letting us be a part of that recovery and that strength is such a huge honor for all of us. But that's also why I'm trying to write this record that I feel like I've gained your trust, right? So you trust me on some level.
Certainly.
And maybe you don't want me to watch your kids, because I probably wouldn't do that. But maybe when it comes to music, maybe you're like, hey man, you're my go-to guy a little bit. I kind of need you to come through for me, and that's why this is such a painful period.
But
for
no
me,
pressure.
No
pressure.
There's no pressure you could put on me that I haven't already put on myself.
Yeah.
Except he really adds a lot to it. Just being around him is very difficult. But thank you so much for that incredible compliment.
Thank you.
Hey, Pergo, there's some people down here, and then maybe we should play a song and let everybody go get a cocktail, and then we'll see you in a little while. But, oh, you got the chicken. Oh, that's great.
Steve Martin in a banjo.
How's it going?
It's I don't know yet. It's about to get weird, I have a feeling.
It could get weird. Tim Duchesne from Aliso Viejo, California.
Awesome.
OC. My question specifically is about Marry Me and how the story is. Was that part of your life? I mean...
Yep. One of the things that a lot of people don't know, and during the Grammys when we won a Grammy for Soul Sister, I thanked my managers. I thanked Crush Management, Jonathan Daniel and a guy named Bob McLinn, because they're very difficult to please. But that's what you need when you're an artist, because, sometimes you walk around and you're like, look, everybody, I'm awesome. And they're like, I'm pretty sure you're about 40% there, dude. And lose 10 pounds. So they're very capable of that. And before that, I didn't have that. I had other managers that weren't, they were good, but they were good for other people because they didn't know how to help me and what my goal was. So I wrote 50 seconds of Marry Me in front of my wife on the kitchen counter, and I was like, these words make sense to me about you. Like, when I met her, I was like, please marry me. Oh, by the way, here's my phone number. And so I sent it to my manager, and he was like, I have good news and bad news. That's amazing. That's the good news. The bad news is you got to finish that. That has to be a serious song, because that's going to be important to people. And then the fact that it went to pop radio, that song, like this little song with acoustic guitar and a vocal, was like unheard of, So it was really a magical thing for me as a writer. Should we play a little bit?
Beautiful song, beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Forever could never be long enough for me to feel like I've had long enough with you. Forget the world now, we won't let them see that there's one thing left to do. Now that the weight has lifted, love has surely shifted my way. Marry me today and every day. Marry this cafe. Say you will. Say you will.
Thanks. So before we go and let you guys do some other stuff, I always ask all of the podcast people a few questions at the end that my wife likes me to ask. And I always hope that they relate to the artist, because the first question is, when are you going to pick up your shit around the house? So Jerry, I guess that's for you, because there's no one else here.
I'm on a boat.
Actually, I wanted to ask Jerry a couple questions because he and I are together most of the time, and maybe we can compare what these things would be to us. But what is your best tour find? What's a magical thing that you found in some of the touring that we've done?
I think about this. We've done almost 40 podcasts, right?
Yeah.
And every time he asks this question to somebody, I just go, and I wonder about mine.
You can't think of what it is, yeah.
My best tour find.
I'll tell you mine while you think of it, because you're boring all of us.
I'm very good on radio.
My favorite thing that I have found is, there are a lot of favorite things, but Ryan Scott's fried chicken sandwich.
Oh, right.
When he brought that thing to us one time backstage when we had a show at Bimbo's, and we couldn't believe how good that sandwich was. If you are ever in San Francisco, you have to find Ryan Scott's restaurant.
Is this Ryan Scott or Ryan Starr?
Okay, at karaoke last night, I may have had 300 glasses of wine. I'm
He
kidding.
sang Sweet Dreams with Ryan Starr last night. Ryan Scott.
Ryan Scott, and I called him Ryan
called him
Starr.
Ryan
Anyway, but his fried chicken sandwich is really the most amazing
That was my
sandwich.
best tour find. It was you singing last night.
Might be going back to karaoke tonight to sever some relationships.
Do you realize the difference when there's a room full of people doing karaoke? There's a room full of people, and they're all horrible, and it's the worst thing in the world. And then Pat gets up. And he slays whatever the song is. He did A Whole Lot of Love. You did Sweet Dreams with Eurythmics, right? And it's so funny to actually hear the difference of a singer.
I feel like a ball hog going into those things.
No.
But anyway, so do you have a favorite find?
A favorite find.
Thank you, though. That's a nice thing to say to your friend.
If you ever get a chance to go karaoke, it's pretty fun. Oh, man.
Something in San Francisco? I mean, you live there. What's the...
Probably
tell people
Dottie's Cafe.
Dottie's.
You gotta do
Dottie's Cafe.
I
Dottie's,
live there, so I go there all the
True
time.
Blue Cafe.
Yeah.
It's a good
and
call.
it moved from its original place, but if you get a chance to go to San Francisco, get breakfast there.
I always ask what people are fans of currently, because there's television shows and new music and everything. What are you a fan of currently?
We got rid of Netflix a couple years ago because I didn't think it was worth it, and now I'm so deep in Netflix. I'm a binge watcher. Are you guys binge watchers? So we've been on tour for about 5.5 years straight. So I missed Lost. I missed Breaking Bad. I missed everything. So I just started season 1, episode 1 of all those shows.
It's awesome.
So don't tell me the end.
I'm a fan of clippers and razors and things that cut men's beards off.
Stick around. It's
Every
going away
man
tomorrow.
I'm around has a gigundous beard. I need some help with that. Sam, show everybody your beard. There's like people
Get up
in
here,
that
Sam.
thing.
Get up here. There's birds living in there.
Yeah.
That's
he's
where we
good.
get our crows.
That's where we keep our raven. Why do you do this after all these years?
I didn't know there could actually be a job like this.
When you know what's cool is that I got to tell you about Jerry's life a little bit. This is really fascinating, and I won't bore you too much. But
Patcast, but
this is a very fascinating story. You're the 8th of 9.
I'm a twin. I'm 8 of 9 kids.
8 of 9 kids. In utero, it's 2 separate births in his mom, right?
We think. We're not sure. We've been
So
told.
one of them was conceived, and then soon after, the other in a different egg. So his sister was smashing him in utero their whole birth. He gets out, and the doctors are like, first of all...
so I'm premature and she's full term.
Right. You finish.
So it's actually, it's something that happened. They're not positive, but if my mom hears this, she's going to go, that's not true. But I was told that, and they think it's called superfetation, and it really is 1 in a million things that'll actually happen. And so I was basically premature, and my sister wasn't. And in 1972, they didn't do ultrasound, so my mom didn't know she was even having twins. And this is how they broke it to her. They said, oh, here's Jerry. Okay. If you were going to have a girl, what were you going to name it? And they go, Sarah. And they go, here, you can use that name too. That's how the doctor told my mom she's having twins. After 7 children. Go on.
Pretty sure it's your life, but I'll try. So they basically read you your last rites.
Yeah, I was in bad shape. I didn't. Bones weren't right. Legs were bad. Everything was rough. So I gave about 72 hours to live, and it worked out. So.
But then the news.
I still don't walk well.
The news continued to get better, but never great. Like then they were like, okay, well he seems like he's gonna make it, but he's never gonna walk. And they did some surgeries, and what Jerry credits his ability to walk and play music and all the other things is that competition of having another child in a playpen,
she was
getting up to get attention.
She was stepping on me to try to look over the thing and stepping on me, and I was going, but if I didn't have a twin, there's no way I would have said, I want to get up there too.
Right.
And I think my mom said that was it. You know, without her there. So thanks, Sarah. Thanks for all that.
And so, thanks for smashing me, and then giving me a chance to walk.
It's competition. That's what it is. If you're not going to do it, someone else is. And it's the same reason I'm here right now. Is there's thousands of dudes that I know that play guitar way better, piano, everything way better, and they all want to be here. But if the competition's not there, that's what it is.
Well, anyway, I love Jerry. He's an amazing part of my life and also the Patcast. A little background on Pergo, if you don't know. As I said, he really likes honking horns at traffic, which makes people that are passengers uncomfortable. And but also he's a very, very bright guy. He's got a master's degree in English, so he writes a lot of all of the Patcast pre-tape stuff and he puts all this stuff together, and I love Pergo as well. I'm pretty sure they're both going to quit soon because
this is the last show.
But anyway, thank you so much for being here. I hope that this was enjoyable. Next time we get together, we'll have Matt Pinfield to help us out.
Are we doing?
And we'll take it out with
Anything you want.
with what's the last song that you want to hear to take us out?
That's funny. That's funny.
Free bird. There had to be a free bird. What is it?
Meet my mother.
Ooh, Ramble On. We're not doing that one tonight.
You want to do it now?
Or should we do a little Ramble On? Let's do it. That's my Robert Plant.
Leaves are falling all around. It's time I was on my way. Thanks to you, I'm much obliged. Such a pleasant stay. But now it's time for me to go. Morning moon lights my way. Now I smell the rain and with it pain, and it's heading my way. Sometimes I grow so tired. But I know I got one thing I got to do, ramble on. Well, now's the time is now. Sing my song. I'm going round the world, I'm gonna find my girl, I'm on my way. Ooh, I've been this way. for spreading roots. Times come to be gone. And to our health we drank 1,000 times. It's time to ramble on. Ramble on. Ooh, well, now the time is now. Sing my song. I'm around the world and about my girl, I'm on my way. Ooh, I've been this way 10 years to the day I'm gonna ramble on. I'm gonna find the queen of all my dreams.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. That's the Patcast. Thanks so much for being here with us.
There you have it, folks. Live music, Q&A with a bunch of great people, and a really fun hang from our crews. We have a bunch of great stuff coming up in the next few weeks, so make sure to keep checking back here. You can go to patcast.com or subscribe to us on the podcast app or on your Stitcher radio app to keep up to date. We have a whole bunch of shows coming up this summer. We'll be all over the U.S., and there's a couple of shows in the U.K. coming up as well. So check out SaveMeSanFrancisco.com for details, and of course, SailAcrossTheSun.com for more on the cruise. And don't forget to give us an idea of something fun and embarrassing for Pergo and or Jerry to do on the show by tweeting to @PatcastPodcast with the hashtag PergoJerryChallenge. And the best tweet will get a free Patcast shirt and hat. If we get something good, we'll pick a winner on next week's show. We'll be back next Monday. Thanks for listening. Please make it an embarrassing thing. I want to see some weirdness.